Have you ever noticed how the quietest person in the room often has the most intriguing story? It's no coincidence. While alpha males crave the spotlight, reveling in the attention they receive, there's another type of man who thrives in the shadows, someone who intentionally avoids being noticed. They are the Sigma males, enigmatic and elusive, masters of the art of invisibility. But this preference for the shadows isn't just a quirk of personality. It's a deliberate choice, one rooted in a deep aversion to the very thing most people chase: attention. So why do Sigma males hate being noticed? Why do they shun the very recognition others so desperately seek? It's more than just a desire for privacy. It's a strategic decision, a way to maintain control, avoid the traps of social obligations, and move through life with a freedom few others can comprehend. Let's delve into the mind of Sigma males and uncover the reasons why being noticed is something they avoid at all costs. Number 1. People gossip about them behind their backs. Gossip. It's as old as human communication itself. From ancient marketplaces to modern-day social media, people have always found a strange satisfaction in discussing others behind their backs. It's a social glue that binds groups together, for better or worse. But for Sigma males, this age-old practice takes on a different meaning. These men often find themselves the subject of hushed conversations and curious glances. Their unique approach to social interactions and their tendency to operate outside traditional hierarchies naturally draws attention. However, this attention isn't always positive or accurate. People love to fill in the blanks when they don't understand something, and Sigma males can be a bit of an enigma. Their independence and self-reliance can be misinterpreted as aloofness or arrogance. Their preference for meaningful connections over superficial socializing might be seen as antisocial behavior. This misunderstanding often leads to speculation and gossip. Coworkers might wonder why the Sigma doesn't join in on office gossip or after-work drinks. Acquaintances might question why he's not more active on social media. Even friends might puzzle over his sometimes unpredictable availability. But Sigma males usually notice this chatter pretty well. Their observant nature and social intelligence mean they're rarely oblivious to the whispers and sideways glances. However, unlike many others, they don't let this gossip dictate their actions or self-worth. People will talk regardless of what Sigma men do, so they choose to focus on their own path rather than trying to control others' perceptions. The irony is that by trying to avoid attention, these men often end up attracting it anyway. Their absence from social media, their selective participation in events, and their guarded personal lives can make them more intriguing to others. People naturally want to understand what they can't easily see or access. Number 2. They can't be targeted. While gossip might swirl around them, Sigma men have an unexpected advantage. They're incredibly difficult to target. This isn't about paranoia or constantly looking over one's shoulder. It's a natural byproduct of their independent lifestyle and selective social engagement. Think of it like camouflage in the animal kingdom. A chameleon doesn't actively try to hide. Its natural state simply makes it less noticeable. Similarly, Sigma males aren't consciously trying to avoid being targeted. Their natural tendency to operate outside the spotlight creates an invisible shield against manipulation and exploitation. This can be really helpful in work settings. Office politics often involve power plays and attempts to influence or control others. But these men operate on the edge of these dynamics, so they are less likely to be drawn into such games. They're not seen as a threat to those seeking power, especially when they don't actively seek it themselves, nor are they an easy target for those looking to climb the corporate ladder by stepping on others. This untargetable quality extends to social situations as well. Manipulators and energy vampires often seek out those eager for attention or validation. The Sigma man's self-reliance and comfort with solitude make them less appealing targets for such individuals. Consider the contrast with the more visible alpha male strategy. Alphas often thrive on attention, using their high visibility to assert dominance and attract followers. It's like a lighthouse, bright and unmissable. However, Sigma males are more like a stealth ship, moving quietly but effectively through social waters. Neither approach is necessarily better. They're just different tools for navigating life. The Alpha's visibility can open doors and create opportunities, while the Sigma's low profile can provide protection and freedom of movement. Number 3. Less attention means fewer social obligations. Being difficult to target naturally leads to another advantage: fewer social obligations. In a world where social connections often come with strings attached, this can be a significant advantage. Think about the last time you were invited to an event you didn't really want to attend. Maybe it was a coworker's birthday party or a distant relative's wedding. You probably felt obligated to go, even if you'd rather spend that time differently. This is a common experience for many people, but Sigma males often find themselves in this situation less frequently. By maintaining a lower profile and being selective about their social engagements, they naturally limit the number of social obligations they accumulate. They're not constantly invited to every social gathering or expected to participate in every group activity. This isn't because they're antisocial or disliked. It's simply a result of their more reserved social presence. This reduction in social obligations frees up time and energy for pursuits that truly matter to them. Instead of spending weekends at obligatory social events, they can focus on personal projects, hobbies, or spending quality time with the few people they genuinely connect with. However, this doesn't mean Sigma males are completely free from social responsibilities. They still maintain relationships and fulfill obligations to those closest to them. The difference is in the scale and frequency of these obligations. Number 4. Being noticed might pressure them to act unnaturally. The cutback on social obligations we just talked about is closely linked to another important part of the Sigma male personality: the pressure to conform. For many people, being noticed or gaining attention often comes with an unspoken expectation to act a certain way. It's like an invisible script that society hands out, dictating how one should behave in the spotlight. However, Sigma men tend to resist this pressure. They value authenticity and independence, which can clash with societal expectations of how someone in the limelight should act. When they attract attention, there's often an underlying tension. Others might expect them to become more outgoing, to take on leadership roles, or to conform to social norms they don't necessarily agree with. This pressure to act unnaturally can be exhausting. Imagine constantly feeling like you're wearing a mask, playing a role that doesn't fit your true self. It's not just uncomfortable, it's draining. For Sigmas, this potential drain on their energy and authenticity is a significant reason why they prefer to avoid unnecessary attention. By staying out of the spotlight, they create a buffer zone where they can be themselves without constant scrutiny or expectations. This doesn't mean they're shy or incapable of handling attention. It's just a strategic choice to preserve their energy and maintain their authentic selves. Think of it like a rare plant that thrives best in specific conditions. Too much direct sunlight, or in this case, attention, might seem beneficial at first glance, but it can actually hinder growth and authenticity. Sigma males prefer to grow in environments that fit them best. Number 5. They find too much attention uncomfortable. While Sigma men may prefer to avoid unnecessary attention, it's not because they're inherently shy or socially anxious. They often find excessive attention uncomfortable for a variety of reasons. Imagine being at a party where everyone's eyes are on you, expecting you to entertain or lead the conversation. For many, this might be an exciting opportunity to shine. But for Sigmas, it can feel like a spotlight that's a bit too bright, revealing more than they're comfortable sharing. This discomfort stems from their strong sense of personal boundaries and value for privacy. Sigma men typically have a rich inner world and prefer to share it selectively. When thrust into the center of attention, they might feel pressured to reveal more of themselves than they'd like. Excessive attention can disrupt their natural state of observation and reflection. They often prefer to be the ones watching and analyzing social situations rather than being the subject of scrutiny. Too much focus on them can feel like it's interrupting their process of understanding and navigating the world around them. This doesn't mean Sigma males are incapable of handling attention when necessary. They can step into the spotlight when it aligns with their goals or values. But the key difference is that they don't seek it out or revel in it the way some other personality types might. This preference for less attention also aligns with their independent nature. Sigma men often feel most comfortable and authentic when they're not being constantly observed or evaluated by others. It allows them the freedom to act according to their own principles and desires, rather than feeling pressured to meet others' expectations. Number 6. Being unnoticed allows them to move freely. Besides the fact that Sigma men don't like excessive attention, there's another reason they prefer to fly under the radar: freedom of movement. This isn't about physical mobility, but rather the ability to navigate social and professional landscapes with minimal interference. Think of it like being a ghost in a crowded room. When you're unnoticed, you can observe, move, and act without constantly explaining yourself or facing unnecessary obstacles. This invisibility is a form of power for Sigma males. In professional settings, this freedom allows them to focus on their work without getting bogged down in office politics or constant social obligations. They can pursue their goals and projects without the added pressure of being in the spotlight. Socially, it gives them the flexibility to engage or disengage as they see fit. They're not bound by the expectations that come with being the central figure in a social group. This freedom allows them to form genuine connections on their own terms, rather than feeling obligated to maintain a wide network of superficial relationships. However, this preference for being unnoticed isn't about hiding or being antisocial. Sigma men are capable of stepping into the spotlight when necessary. The difference is that they choose when and how to do so, rather than having attention thrust upon them constantly. This freedom of movement also extends to their personal lives. By not being the center of attention, they can explore new interests, change direction, or even reinvent themselves without facing the scrutiny that often comes with high visibility. Number 7. Staying low-key helps avoid unnecessary conflicts. Think about the last argument you witnessed or were part of. Chances are, it started because someone felt their ego was bruised or their status was threatened. These conflicts often arise from the constant jockeying for social position that occurs in many groups. By staying out of the spotlight, Sigma males naturally avoid many of these potential flashpoints. This isn't about being conflict-averse or weak. Sigma men are capable of standing their ground when it matters. The difference is that they choose their battles wisely. They're not interested in petty squabbles or power plays. They actually conserve their energy for conflicts that align with their values or goals. This approach can be particularly beneficial in professional settings, where competition and ego-driven clashes can be common. Office politics often involve unnecessary conflicts that drain time and energy. That's why Sigma males prefer to stay low-key and focus on their work. They're not into power struggles or getting caught up in these pointless disputes. It's the same in social situations where being less noticeable means avoiding conflicts. They're less likely to be drawn into arguments over trivial matters or to become the target of someone's misplaced aggression. However, this conflict avoidance isn't about being a pushover. When faced with a genuine threat or injustice, Sigma men are capable of asserting themselves effectively. Their low-key approach actually gives them an advantage in these situations because they're not constantly involved in minor conflicts. When they do speak up, people tend to take notice. Number 8. They value keeping their personal life under wraps. This isn't about being secretive or having something to hide. It's just a reflection of their independent nature and their belief that personal matters should remain just that. Personal. Think about social media for a moment. While many people share every detail of their lives online, these individuals tend to be more reserved. They might have accounts, but they're not likely to be posting daily updates or sharing intimate details of their relationships or personal struggles. This privacy extends beyond the digital world. In face-to-face interactions, Sigma males are often selective about what they share and with whom. They're not the type to overshare with casual acquaintances or colleagues. They prefer to keep their personal lives separate from their professional ones. This desire for privacy isn't rooted in shyness or social anxiety. Sigma men are capable of opening up and sharing when they choose to. The difference is that they're in control of what they reveal and when they reveal it. Sigma men want to maintain that sense of control over their narratives, so keeping their lives private is the best way to do so. They're not subject to the constant judgment or unsolicited advice that often comes with oversharing.